So I want to tell a story about when I lived in Kansas City. Now, living in Kansas City was tough. I was in a bad place. I was a drug addict. I was, it's my first time ever living on my own in the middle of nowhere where I really didn't have anybody to trust and I think that's kind of why, like, now that I'm living in the middle of nowhere, it's hard for me to trust or ask anybody for anything because of my time in Kansas City. But then I lived in Kansas City. I lived in the city. So I could walk everywhere and get wherever I needed to go. But also, that was before I was disabled. I was just talking to a counselor today. I used to be able to walk miles. I was like Forrest Gump. But instead of running, I could walk that distance. Didn't bother me. Um, like, for example, when I moved back to California from Norfolk, Virginia, stayed with my brother Sean in Foothill Farms, which is a, a sub. It's not even a suburb. It's kind of the a ghetto of Sacramento, and I got my the first job I got when I moved back was at a Boston Market. That place sucked balls. I don't even want to get into that job. Going from being a fucking sous chef to a manager at a Five Guys to being treated like a piece of shit at a Boston Market by a fucking manager that was like, she was like, what, 19, 18, still in high school. Shit pissed me the fuck off. I was like, bitch, I will knock you the fuck out. Like, I had to fight that. I hated that job. But it was still a job. So I did it. And I would walk from people from Sacramento would know this. Uh, from Garfield in Foothill Farms, just south of Citrus Heights, all the way to Roseville, over by Wood Creek High School, to the Boston Market. And if I had to be there to open, that meant I had to be there because we opened at 10. So I had to be there at 9. So I would wake up at about 4 in the morning, get dressed, get something to eat, make sure I had a bottle of water to go with me during my walk, and then walk my happy ass to work. And I'd get there at about 8, sit outside until they came to open the doors, go in, go to work, open, and then closing. That was even more fun. Well, it was more fun because anybody that's ever worked in a restaurant or whatever knows how to make themselves a meal, whether they're allowed to or not, and make sure that that meal comes home with them. Everybody does it. Everybody working in a Boston Market or a fast food place, a Taco Bell or a McDonald's, everybody hearing this right now is going to be like, dude, shut up. Like, even the managers. That's why nobody ever gets in trouble for it. Because even the managers do it. Everybody does it. They step on the line. They're like, "Let me help out," and they're like, "Oh, I messed up," and make an extra thing, and then they just put it up there. And when nobody's watching, they'll just grab it, and fucking nobody watches the cameras for it. No reason to, because everybody does it. See, that's where Five Guys is smart. Five Guys, well, at least when I worked for them in Norfolk, Virginia. Five Guys uh gave during your lunch, didn't matter it, because if I remember right, as a manager, if you worked 4 hours or more, you had to take a half hour lunch. I think that's true. Or was it 6? No, I think it was 4, because if you work 3 hours, you get a 15, and then at 4 you have to get a 15 and a, a half hour lunch, and then if you do 6, you get 2 15s. Wait, no, that's not right. I think it was 6. You get a half hour lunch. Yeah, 4 is a 15, 6 is a half hour lunch, 8 is a 15, a half hour lunch, and a 15. And you have to, like, my kids were cool that worked for me. I'd have to be like, you have to take your 15. Oh, I'm doing this, and I'll do it until you get back. You have to take your 15. Get the fuck out of my face. But it rarely got to people working 8 hours. Like when I first started working there were kids that were had full time jobs, but it went down to 6, then to 4, then send everybody home except yourself. You're the manager. You can close by yourself, which is I wasn't getting paid. I was only getting paid like $11. They want me to fucking send everybody home and then be there by myself to clean everything, then go do the work on the computer, count the tab, everything by myself. No. And then also they would tell me, "Oh, you have until because I guess if I remember correctly, we closed at 10, so no matter what, everybody had to be out till 11." And then towards the end of me working there, it was I had to be out by 11. Everybody else got to go home at 10. If there was more than just me working, and I had to clean everything, do everything, and do that in an hour by myself. And if it took longer than that, I had to clock out, stay there, and keep fucking cleaning. Five Guys owes me a lot of fucking money. Just saying. I don't even know where I started with this, but oh, yeah, I was talking about Kansas City. Kansas City sucked balls. But when I worked at uh, uh, McFadden's, uh, I there like everybody, all of the guys in the kitchen when I was a sous chef and then became chef. I've never had chef. I went from sous chef. I went from expediter to pantry to sous chef to assistant chef. No, I guess I'd still have been just a sous chef, but I was able to like add things to the menu at that point. So that was my promotion, assistant chef. I went from sous chef to assistant chef when I was able to play with the menu, but I was still the sous chef basically. Um, but yeah, living in Kansas City was it was trash. But everybody I worked with, like in the kitchen, they were Mexican, and being from California, I have picked up a few Spanish words, mostly cuss words, mostly cuss words, because that's what kids say. Um, but hanging out with them, I was starting to learn like the words for other things and absorb it. And my favorite day, a thing I said to them all the time after I said this because they fucking busted up, started laughing. I knew what I was saying. I basically said, "My cat is on fire. Where's the milk?" So it was "Mi gato en fuego. Donde está mi leche?" And they just looked at me. They're like, and one, "Do you know what you just said?" I was like, "Yeah, my cat's on fire. Where's the milk?" And they just started laughing. And they were like, "Why would you say something like that?" And I said, "Because I feel like a bitch. Chupa mi verga, puto." And they started laughing again. And they're like, "What did you just tell me to do?" And I said, "Suck my dick, bitch." What? Well, putos. Yeah, I'm not going to say that. But bitch is close enough. Bendejos, bitch. But puta is, it's close enough. No, and that's the end of story time.